Hello everybody. Today we're going to talk about step number 6 in my 13-step foundation for healing PTSD in healthy, natural ways. So step number 6 is called getting healthy. And this was the very next thing that I did in my process of trying to heal myself. One thing that I would like to impress upon all of you is that I had to realize that, with this, as with any of the other steps that I developed to heal my PTSD in healthy, natural ways, you can make it too complicated. You can make it too onerous. And when you do things like that, you're just setting yourself up for failure. And I had to realize that. So before I succumbed to the PTSD, I was a pretty athletic guy. I used to run half marathons and do different things like that. I was always working out in the gym and that sort of thing. And so I kind of thought about that process when I was developing the step. And so my point is, if your goal is to run a marathon, don't start out trying to run a marathon. Just set a small goal that you can accomplish. Say, okay, I'm going to start running 20 minutes a day, just till I can make sure that I can run 20 minutes without stopping and be comfortable with it, then I'll move on. So don't push yourself too hard. I had to learn not to push myself too hard, too fast, that sort of thing, and not try to do too much at once. And I did that with every step in my foundation, my 13-step foundation to healing PTSD. I just did a little bit at a time. Gave myself time to work on it, because what I was trying to do is build all these healthy habits, and I wanted to make them stick. So I just did a little bit at a time. I'd give myself breaks, allow myself some time to rejuvenate, to process things. So step number 6, getting healthy. Like I said, let's just keep it simple. I sort of took a two-pronged approach to getting healthy. The first one obviously was physical health, and the second part to this is mental health, which is what we're trying to achieve. And I think I read this from Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, that you can't have good physical health without good mental health. As I've talked about in my videos before, I learned that your brain controls everything. And so you have to take care of that first. So, keeping in mind that we're going to keep this simple and easy, or that I was going to do that. So what I did is I said, okay, I want to be healthy physically. So that also has two parts for me. Proper nutrition and exercise. So what I did was I just started cooking my own food. I stopped eating stuff out of boxes and cans, bags. I started buying everything from the store fresh and cooking it and preparing my own meals. When I could, if I could afford it, I bought organic stuff, especially fruits and vegetables or meats that didn't have any GMOs or antibiotics and things like that in them. Now, when I first started doing this, I had the PTSD, and so I wouldn't leave the house, and some of you may be experiencing the same thing. So they were just, back then, this was many years ago, but back then they were just starting the whole ordering your groceries online thing and having them delivered to your house. So I started doing that. Now that's everywhere. I mean, you can practically order anything you need and they'll deliver it. So that's a good thing for all of you that are having trouble with that. So I started doing that, started ordering stuff, and I just started cooking my meals. And then when I was cooking, I found that it took my mind off my problems and my anxieties, and it also gave me a way to escape my PTSD for a little while. And then I was putting good, healthy things into my body. Because you have to realize that when you have PTSD and you're under chronic stress, your body is leaching all kinds of vitamins and minerals. And I understood that based on the research that I did, so I knew that I had to replace those. So I started cooking from home, cooking everything fresh, tried to get organic stuff when I could. I even started planting my own garden, or at the time, if I lived in an apartment or something, I just plant stuff in pots. You can grow lettuce, onions, all herbs, different kinds of things like that in there. You can use the herbs for teas and all kinds of things. So you can really get into it if you want to. So I started doing that. And then the second thing was that I needed to start exercising again. And back then I started trying to run again. I did that, maybe just 2 miles or something. I did that a lot. But then I started, as I was going through this whole process, I started having problems with my back that developed from the medication that I was on. And I ended up being in a wheelchair. So it was kind of like, I was back at stage 1. I had to overcome that. I was in it for a couple years. I got out of it. I finally got to a point where I said, you know what, enough is enough. This is no way to live. I'm not going to live my life as a drugged up zombie. So, I felt that I had something important to do with my life, and I wanted to get that back. I wanted my freedom back. So I forced myself out of the wheelchair. After about 6 months of getting my legs used to walking and that sort of thing, I had a friend that taught martial arts. So he helped me through the martial arts build the strength in back of my legs and my back and my agility and those sorts of things. Then after the 6 months, I quit taking all my medication cold turkey. I was on 7 different kinds of medication. That was a really rough week. I don't recommend doing that. If you're on that, talk to your doctor if you want to do that, and they can help you cut back, because it was a pretty hairy process there for about 7 days. But that's just the way I am, so that's what I did. But like I said, if you're going to do it, I highly recommend that you talk to your doctor before you do anything like that. So then after the whole martial arts thing, I started hiking. I lived close to a mountain, and I started hiking and walking. I still do that today. I still cook and eat healthy. I still have a garden. In fact, I have a video on, I had some videos on there about PTSD garden that I did for a while. And I still do all those things. I even have chickens. So I get I have free-range chickens in my backyard. And so I have fresh eggs and stuff with no chemicals in it that I eat. And it's really turned into a good little habit for me, way of life. And like I said, I still walk. I live in a different place now. I'm not close enough to that mountain anymore to go walk it, but there's trails by my house that I go walk every day. I started building myself up. Started off with like 1.5 miles, worked myself eventually up to 3 miles, and now I'm at 4 miles, and then, or I moved up to 4 miles, and now I walk about 6 miles every day, and it's an important part of my day. So those are the things I did to get healthy physically. Extra vitamins, eating right, little exercise. And exercising, you get out, get some fresh air, you get into nature. And then it allows you time to think without distractions of your everyday life, without the distractions of your PTSD. It helps clear your mind. All the fresh air is good for your brain and your lungs and your blood and all that. So once I accomplished those things, the next thing that I did, I needed to start working on being healthy mentally. So one of the things, and I still do this every day, I do it 3 times a day now, I meditate. Now you can find all kinds of videos about how to meditate, and you got to sit in the right position and do all those things. And again, they just make it too complicated. Meditation is really a very basic, simple thing. All you need to do is sit down somewhere. You can find a quiet place. Doesn't matter where it is. It could be in your house, bedroom, family room. It could be in your backyard. Could be out somewhere outside in nature somewhere. Sit down, get comfortable. And this is, like I said, my whole theory behind all this was just to keep it basic and simple so that I wouldn't get too overburdened. And I wanted to make these things last. So I just found a place that was quiet, sat down, relaxed, closed my eyes, and started breathing deeply. In through my nose, slowly, and out through my mouth. Basically, all I was doing was this. And then I do that about 4 or 5 times to sort of just calm everything down. And then, of course, like I said, I have my eyes closed. And then I just breathe real slowly in and out. Try and stay calm. I'm comfortable. I'm relaxed. I pay attention to my breath. I pay attention to, you can sort of feel the energy in your body. I listen to all the little sounds, the birds chirping, things inside the house, all those sorts of things. And you'll find that thoughts will pop into your head. That's what happened to me, especially in the beginning. I kept getting bombarded with all these thoughts and anxieties and worries and things. So I had to figure out a way to overcome that. So what I did is I just started focusing on my breath. When those things got to be too much, I just concentrated on breathing in deeply and slowly and exhaling slowly. And I concentrated on that till the thought stopped. Or I would concentrate on listening to the birds chirp and trying to block out these things. And eventually they'll stop. At first it was difficult for me, but the more I did it, the easier it became. And over time, now I meditate, like I said, 3 times a day. I do it in the morning when I get up, I do it in the afternoon when I'm out walking, and then I do it in the evening right when I go to bed. And now within a matter of seconds, I can pretty much stop all the thoughts from bombarding me, and I have a clear mind, and it totally relaxes me. Anytime I get stressed out, I do it. It relaxes me. And then at night, I can fall asleep. It helps me to feel energized and connected somehow to a source of energy. And it's a very important part of my life now. And then I found that anytime that I had an anxiety attack or a panic attack, that I could go someplace and meditate like that, or at least use the breathing techniques to calm me down, slow my heart down, and stop the panic from happening. So that's basically it. That's what I did with getting healthy. Of course, all the details are here in my book, The Sword and the Anvil, and in here I have the diet that I used. I have a lot of nutritional information, vitamins, minerals, herbs, things like that I personally used and did. I have all the details about how I established my exercise regimen, eating right, and my meditation practices. So if you want the more details, they're in this book. You can find it on Amazon.com or Barnes & Noble, Nook. The links to that are in the drop-down window, so if you go down and click on that, you'll see links to my books to make it easy for you. If you do purchase them, thank you. I appreciate it. It helps me to keep doing what I'm doing to help other people. And there's also links there to my other work, TV interviews I've done and things like that, about my books and PTSD and those sorts of things. But there are 2 acronyms in here this time, and as a lot of you know that have been following me, I do this with every chapter. It kind of sums everything up. So the first one is health. Happily existing, accepting, living through harmony. Again, so health, each of the letters, HEALTH. Happily existing, accepting, living through harmony. And then I also have one for meditation. Mind exposed, divine inspiration, total assimilation, transcendent information occurring naturally. So that's meditation. That's basically what you're doing when you're meditating. And so again, meditation, mind exposed, divine inspiration, total assimilation, transcendent information occurring naturally. So a lot of times when I do meditate, what I mean by transcendent information is that once you clear your mind, then I'm actually able to solve any of the problems that I have throughout the day, because now my mind is clear. I can think clearly, and I often find all the solutions I need to whatever issue that I'm dealing with. So it has that benefit as well. So that's basically it. Like I said, I have all the information and the details in my book, The Sword and the Anvil. You find it in the drop-down window. Also, please remember to like and share my video with as many people as possible, because the more people that this gets out to, the more people hopefully that can be inspired to go out and heal themselves with their anxiety, trauma, and PTSD. And I have another video will be coming soon on step number 7, which is peace, in my 13-step healing foundation. And I'm also currently been working on another book. I'm not sure when it'll be published. I'm still working on it, doing editing and things like that. That is basically about personal development, personal and spiritual development, and finding out what the purpose of my life was all about and how I did that and achieved that once I got all this other stuff cleared up. So thank you for watching. Again, please like and share my video. Check the drop-down window for links to my books and my other work and TV interviews. And I will see you next time when we talk about step number 7, peace. Take care.